Welcome back to Nightly Nonsense, dramatic pause, right? We are trying to make some sense out of the nonsense. We're talking about the end time stuff, the types of things that we're going to see, right? Talked about last night, Jesus said, you're going to see things in the heavens. You're going to start seeing wonders, symbols, things that are happening in the heavens. Are you paying attention? Do you know that these things are increasing? Have you gone to Acts chapter 2 and looked at the Joel prophecy there and seen? Talks about a red moon, talks about smoke in the sky, talks about things that, hey, are happening. I want you to tonight to focus with me on wars and rumors of wars. Have you ever lived through a time? Now, again, I came out on the backside of the Cold War, right? Just near the end, right? Where Reagan is announcing, like, hey, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, right? And it comes down. So I'm finishing up with that when I'm in high school, right? I didn't live through the bomb scares and the nuclear war scares and all that stuff, right? We practiced every once in a while hiding under our desk, which just meant you were going to hit your head on your desk, right? We didn't go to the bomb shelter. I never went to the bomb shelter as a kid, even though I knew our school had them, right? So we're coming out of that whole thing. But again, most of my life has been lived with the Iraqi war, things like that, right? But every single day, online, in the newspaper, on television, we're being told about rumors of war. We're talking about wars with China, wars with Russia. We're talking about Russia wanting to have nuclear wars with everybody. We're talking about in Africa wars. Now, again, is this new? No, it's happened all the time for 2,000 years. But the question is it happening right now like birth pains? Is it intensifying in nature, right? Now, again, you're going to say, well, Andy, World War I did the same thing and it intensified, and then we went to war, and World War II intensified, and we went to... Exactly, right? But we're also looking for, is it happening now, right? Is it happening now? Are you aware of the wars and the rumors of wars, the China and the Thailand stuff, the North Korea and the Japan stuff? Are you aware of the stuff that happens in Africa all the time? Are you aware of all the Middle East stuff, right? Are you aware of the Europe stuff? Are you paying any attention to the Ukraine stuff, right? Are you listening and just getting in a sense? Again, we don't live in fear of it. We don't have to dwell on it. We don't have to become experts on it. But we do need to understand that Jesus said these are the things that are going to happen. These are the birth pains, right? That it's going to start. It's just going to keep intensifying. We may be 30, 40, 50, 60, 100, 200 years, right, from the very last days. I do not know. But what God does say is we're to look to these things. And what I do know is that when I'm looking to these things right now, I'm seeing an intensification. So I would ask you tonight, again, look it up, do your homework, right? The Bible tells you to be prepared for these things. Are you prepared, right? We know in Revelation that there is going to be war, right? These kind of things are important for us to understand. We put the whole thing together. It's not just one thing, right? But it's all of these things. So far we've talked about wars and rumors of wars. We've talked about heavenly signs and symbols, right? Again, tomorrow night I want to move on and keep talking about what are some of these things, and are you seeing them? Are you putting this all together? Right? Not because some guy who's prophesying that, hey, this stuff's going to happen. Not because I'm talking about it, because you've actually looked at your word. You know, what are the things that I'm supposed to be looking to and for, and are they intensifying like birth pains? Again, you might have no interest in all of this, right? You're like, Andy, I like it better when you're talking about the Bible and you're talking about certain scriptures and all of this stuff, right? Well, this is in the Bible. This is definitely in the Bible. And the Bible tells us that, hey, if you don't want suddenly to come on you, you might want to be aware of these things, right? If you don't want to be caught unaware when Jesus returns, then you pay attention to what he's told us is going to happen. So chew on that. We'll see you next time on Nightly Nonsense.